One of my favorite directors of all time, the late great David Lynch, had this to say of Nic Cage. He is the jazz musician of American acting. Now, if you're more of a Mia than a Sebastian, you might think that that is a dig against Nic Cage's acting acumen. However, the more sophisticated ear would know that jazz is a highly technical genre. In order to improvise and keep up with the other musicians, you have to have a deep understanding of the fundamentals of music. I'm talking chord progression, scales, seventh chords, harmony, swing rhythm, syncopation. It's a very technical genre. Now imagine the energy of jazz in the human form of Nic Cage and combine it with the director who brought us the surreal nightmare that is the movie Vivarium, and you have The Surfer. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for checking out my video. I'm really excited to talk about this movie today because it is so weird. It is so surreal, so out of this world. What else would you expect from someone like Nic Cage? He has been on quite a run lately, from Mandy to The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent to Longlegs, and now this. Like, there have been so many movies as of late with him in it that are just awesome, and this is no different. I've been rocking with Nic Cage since Valley Girl because my daddy taught me right. There's just something about the energy that he brings to his performances. It's very esoteric, very eccentric, sometimes uncanny, and it's just, I really admire what he does to every character that he breathes life into. He has his Nic Cage isms, and that's definitely present in this movie, but there is a depth to him. There is an artistry to the jazz that he is creating as an artist. He has a deep love of movies, and it comes through in his performances. And it's so fun seeing him take on these roles that are using him to his full potential. Oh, and Pig. Pig was a phenomenal movie. He was incredible in that one. What is your favorite Nic Cage movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if it's National Treasure, tell me, because I haven't seen it and I just might if you tell me to. And now's a good time to remind you to please like and subscribe to my channel. You can get one new movie review from me every single week. You can follow me for more movie news and reviews everywhere at Movie Mija, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, I'm there. All right, now let's get into The Surfer. A man revisits his childhood beach to surf with his son. Humiliated by locals, he becomes entangled in an escalating conflict that pushes him to his limits. The film is directed by Lorcan Finnegan, and it stars Nicolas Cage, Julian McMahon, Cassim, Miranda Tapsell, Alexander Bertrand, and Justin Rosniak. First things first, this movie is an absolute trip. And while I was on the trip, I was like, get me out of here. I do not want to be here, and I won't want to come back again. But by the time we got to the end, I was like, yeah, let's run that back. I had a pretty good time. And it's not because this movie is bad. It's just because it's so surreal and hot and sticky. It's Christmas time in Australia, and you can feel the Australian sun beating down on you. Like, there is so much sweat and like actual real flies throughout this movie. It's just so palpable and visceral just how hot it was, and it just makes you physically uncomfortable as our main character Nic Cage, aka The Surfer, is. Like, that's literally his name in the film. He's The Surfer. It's pretty badass. And the setup for the film is so simple. I love when a movie has a very simple idea and just kind of extrapolates it and gets really in there and just has all the fun with the way that they can present it to us on the big screen. I'm talking cinematography, I'm talking angles, direction, the score. The look of this movie is just so rich, matching with that very twisted, like, tale that we're going on with a very simple setup. It all kind of works, and especially because you have Nic Cage at the driver's seat. So The Surfer is this wealthy man. He's just trying to connect with his son. He just wants to take him surfing at the local beach when the local Beach Boys surfer gang tell him nar. And that's what sets off this chain of events where Nic Cage is now in a standoff with the local surfer gang. So there's this localism happening. I guess it's like a thing that happens in the surfing community because the writer Thomas Martin was inspired, like, reading some stories about some surfers who just try to be territorial about their waves and the beaches and who's allowed to enter them. And truly, that's the whole movie. But as he is trying to gain access to this beach and stand up to this local gang, he kind of goes on a whole other trip on his own because he's under the sun, because he doesn't have access to food and water, and you're starting to question, like, what's actually really happening? Are things happening in the sequence that we are seeing them in? The nonlinear format is so unsettling, and it helps put you in the frame of mind that the surfer is experiencing himself. The performances in this movie are incredible. Nic Cage Far and Beyond is just so wonderful as the surfer. He has this way about showing that desperation and just having some fun. There's like an undercurrent of humor throughout this movie that I really appreciated, because it does go to some dark places and deals with some dark themes, but there's always like a joke that's just ready to bubble up and take you by surprise. And Nic Cage knows exactly how to play those like twisted but funny scenes, and they're just perfection. The big bad head of the surfer gang, Julian McMahon, is also fantastic. The way that these two play off each other, the chemistry that they have between each other, it's like you want them to just get along, but they're antagonists throughout. And it's one of those movies where you just want to shake the people, or you just want to fight back, or you want to join like Nic Cage in arms and help him out. If you've ever watched a horror movie where they're like stuck in one place and you don't really know truly who the enemy is, this is that kind of watch where you just wish you could just jump into the movie and like help find out what's going on. The cinematography in this film is just also delicious. When you have like this really tormented kind of setup of a story and this surreal like hellscape that Nic Cage has to go through, but it's set against the gorgeous cinematography of the Australian beaches. You have these like high contrast blues and these warm tones. It looks like an old postcard. It's definitely very nostalgic, and it gives off a 70s homage to like older beach movies from Australia as well. And it's beautiful. Like the way that they combined the cinematography with also this incredible score, and you are flashing back between scenes of the beach, close-ups of these animals, and then Nic Cage's sweaty face, and you really don't know what's going on, but all you know is that I'm uncomfortable, but this is beautiful. Because this is a non-linear movie, I think the pacing is really important, and I think the pacing kind of stumbled in a few areas. I think that there were times where I felt like we could move on to the next action piece. Like I understood what we were getting from this sequence here, and I'm ready for the next sequence to start, and it took a little time to get there, but it kind of like sped up towards the end when we get everything crammed in that final act. So I would have liked it to progress to each event a little quicker, in my opinion, but I wouldn't be too upset about staying in the world with Nic Cage, because truly it was a lot of fun seeing the way that he handles all of these different scenes, and the direction itself was really inspired. Like we're in the same place the whole movie. We're in the parking lot or on the beach, and the amount of ways they presented that to us where it didn't feel repetitive, it kept feeling fresh, and it kept twisting our own vision of the space in the movie was really incredible, and I had a lot of fun with that. This movie definitely reminds me a little bit of It's a Wonderful Life, given that it's Christmas time. You got the Family Man. Family Man is also another Nic Cage movie. But you have these themes of like trying to like impress your family or win back your family or find yourself outside of the material goods that you possess in this life. I think what also ties this film together really well is that it's tackling pretty heavy themes. We're talking masculinity and the pressure that men have to perform it for each other and for society. You have this surfer boy gang, you have Nic Cage trying to be a father, and so that dichotomy of how they're showing up as men in their own respective ways and having that in conversation with one another, I think is really interesting. And it allows this film to have a very interesting layer that you can peer into, that it goes beyond just like the surrealness of it all. All in all, I found The Surfer to be a very compelling and ultimately fun watch. There are some quotable moments in this movie. There are some laugh out loud moments in this movie. I saw it in a packed theater and we were hollering at some of those things. Like, there are some gags. Nic Cage, the man that you are, thank you for bringing us so much laughter, but it also harkens to the fact that there is real humor to this, so it doesn't go over the edge of darkness, even though there are some really, really twisted moments. And it's just so unexpected. I really appreciate a movie that can sell on the promise of taking you on a journey, and The Surfer is definitely one that takes you on an experience. But hopefully, wherever you watch this, you have air conditioning and you don't have to sweat like the people in this film. All right, that's my review of The Surfer. Let me know if you check it out and what your favorite Nic Cage movie is. Again, if it's National Treasure and you say that's your favorite Nic Cage movie, I will watch it just for you. Okay, that is all for now. Thank you so much again for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!